Hi, my name is Heather, and welcome to another episode of Wacom Plus Cricut, my series where I show you how you can use your Wacom tablet to create projects for your Cricut. Before we start, I'd like to give a huge thank you to Wacom for sending me this tablet and for sponsoring this series. This is the Wacom One Display Touch tablet, and I'll have a link to the unboxing video in the description. Today, we're going to create Halloween lanterns, and we're going to be making these 3D lanterns that have the little shapes that kind of pop out. To do this, I have these supplies. I have colored cardstock here in a lot of different colors, and these are just standard 8.5 by 11 sheets. I also have some translucent vellum cardstock. If you don't have this, you could also use like colored tissue paper that you use for gift wrapping. But this is this really nice translucent vellum, so it really lets the light shine through it really well. I'm in Affinity Designer 2, and this is where we're going to be creating our file for our lantern because we want it to be an SVG file, so it needs to be in vector. For this project, I'm going to make it 10.5 inches wide by 6 inches high. So for the page width, I'm just going to set that to 10.5. And then for the page height, I'll do 6 inches high. And then for the DPI, we're going to set it to 72. And that is just going to ensure that it pulls in at the correct dimensions in Cricut Design Space. Then I'm going to click Create. This rectangle is what we're going to draw all of our shapes on that are then going to get cut out of the paper. I'm going to grab my pencil tool, and first I'm just going to change the width to how I want it. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit, and that's pretty good. Now I'm going to draw my bat. So I'm going to do 2 curves for the wings. And then I'm going to do the bottom part of the wing. I'm going to grab my node tool and just fix this up a little bit here. And notice how I'm not connecting them, so they're not a full connected shape, and they're also not a filled in shape. So this is going to allow them to kind of pop out of the lantern. Then I'm going to go back to my pencil tool and I'll add the head. So I'm going to do the sides of the head with the ears. And I'll just leave it like that so those kind of pop out. And I'll do the body, and I'll just make a leg that's not going to pop out, and it's just going to be kind of cut out. Because the legs are so small, I think it'll be kind of hard to make the legs pop out. Now I'm going to draw a little ghost. So I'm going to do the left side like that, and the right side. I'm just going to kind of fix these up to make them a little straighter. Now I'm going to make his little eyes. And those I am going to fill in because I want those to get cut out all the way. And I'll give him a little smile. I really like that, so I'm going to just arrange them a little bit differently. So maybe I'll make the bat a little bit smaller, make the ghost a little smaller, and I think I want to duplicate him. I'm going to hold down Alt and just drag him over so I get another one. And then I'm going to click the flip horizontal. That way they're kind of facing each other. I'll make this one a little bigger so that way we have like one big one and one small one. So they're friends. I like that, and I'm going to add some more just little design elements. So I'm going to grab my pencil tool again, and I'm going to make some little stars. And for this, I'm filling it in so that it can be a whole cutout star. So then I'm going to hold down Alt again and drag, and then I can duplicate him. I think I might also want to do just some little holes cut out, and that'll just let a little more light through, and maybe it'll look like little stars in the background. For that, I'm going to grab the ellipse tool. I'll hold down Shift while I make a circle, but I want it to be filled in rather than an outline. So I'm going to go up here where I have my fill and my stroke, and I'm just going to click the little arrow to flip them. So now the fill is black, and as you can see, it's a black circle filled in. And then I will just do the same thing where I'm going to hold down Alt and just copy it over. And I'll make some smaller versions too. Now this is all done, and I'm going to convert these strokes to shapes. And if you want more info on why we do that and what it means, I have a video that I'll link in the cards. Let's select everything, and we're going to go to Layer, Convert to Curves. And then that took all of those little circles and converted them into actual shapes instead of like the circle object in Affinity Designer. And then I'm going to click Add in the Operations menu. So these are all now one shape. So they're all combined together, and all of those circles is just one piece. That way I can take those, and I'm actually going to go to the Layers panel, and I'm going to click this little dot and hide them. So now I just have everything else that's not the circles. So these are all of the actual pieces that we drew. So I'm going to grab all of that, and I'm going to go to Layer, Expand Stroke. And now all of those strokes are now shapes. But if you zoom in, you can see that there's a lot of overlapping shapes here from all the different strokes that we did. So we're going to need that to be one shape. So I'm going to go up to the Operations panel at the top, and I'm going to click Add. And now all of those pieces are all one shape. Now we can show that other layer that we hid before. So I'm going to click that circle again, and now we have both the layers, and now both of them are shapes. So now we can combine those into one. So I'm going to grab everything, and I'm going to do Add. So now if we look in the Layers panel, we can see that there's only one layer that says Curves, and everything is on that one layer. So that part's done. Now we just need to make our rectangle piece, and then we're going to cut that out of the rectangle. So I'm going to go over to my menu on the left, and I'm going to click the rectangle tool, and I'm going to make it a different color, so maybe purple. And then over here where the color is, actually I want that to be the fill color. So I'm going to click the little swappy arrows, and then for the stroke, we don't want it to have a stroke because this is just going to be a shape. So let's just click the little no stroke button. Now I can draw a rectangle the same size as the canvas. And then let's make it exact. Let's go over here to the transform panel. We want the width to be 10.5, and then we want the height to be 6. And then let's just set the X coordinate to 0 and the Y coordinate to 0, and that way it's in the perfect center of the canvas. Over in the Layers panel, let's move that to the bottom. And now we're just going to cut our drawing out of the rectangle. So we're going to grab our Select tool, select everything, and up in the Operations menu, we're going to do Subtract Front, and now it's cut out. You can also just zoom in and just perfect any areas that might be kind of weird. Like right here, we have this little piece right here that needs to come out. So I can just grab my node tool and click on those little pieces and just delete them. So just kind of look around and see if you see any of those. If there's any parts you want to perfect in the shapes, you can do that as well. Like I can fix this curve here. Now this is ready to bring into Cricut Design Space. So we can just export it as an SVG. So we're going to go to File, Export, pick SVG up at the top, and we're going to do SVG for export. For the area is going to be the whole document. And then we're going to go to Advanced. We can do Use DPI and do 72. That's going to make sure that it comes through as the correct size in Cricut Design Space. And we're also going to uncheck Set View Box. And then you can click Export. Let's go into Cricut Design Space. I'm in a new project here, and I'm just going to go to Upload, Upload Image, Browse. I'll find my Lantern SVG and click Open, Upload, and then I'm just going to click it and do Add to Canvas. So as you can see, it came through as the correct size, 10.5 by 6, and everything is just on the one layer, so that's perfect. So I'm going to click Make It. And you can see right here how we're going to put it on our mat, horizontal like this, and in the upper left. Here's my mat. I'm going to grab my paper. I'll use this purple, and I'll just set it in the upper left corner like this. And I'll click Continue here, and then I'll go connect my Cricut. Here is my finished cut lantern. I'm just going to flip this over and gently peel it off. I have my vellum here too, and I'm going to cut the vellum a little bit smaller than the lantern, just a teeny bit. Now I have my vellum and my paper, and I'm just going to lay the vellum on top of the paper. This is the inside of the lantern, and then we're just going to wrap it like this. I'm going to go ahead and glue the vellum to the paper. I'm going to open this up, and I'll use a paintbrush, and that way I can spread it on a little bit thinner so it won't get as wrinkly. And I'll go around the edges here. And see, I'm putting it pretty thin. So you don't want to glob it on because it will wrinkle up. I can just put a little bit of glue kind of scattered throughout the design, but make sure you don't put it on any of the parts that are supposed to pop out. And now I'm going to grab this and just place it on top. Here's my design with the vellum. And as you can see, when we curve it, like the little wing comes up and you can kind of see the vellum underneath it. So I'm going to put glue right on this edge here. And I'll fold this over. And I'm not totally sure that I trust the glue 100%. So I think I'm going to also just add a little bit of tape to this. I have some packaging tape, which I love because I just feel like packaging tape is very, very strong. So I'm going to grab some of this. And I just have a little strip here, and I'll just tape a little bit from here to here. And this is the back of the lantern anyways, so you're not really going to see it. And then I'll grab another little piece, and I'll just tape from here to here. And I'll put one in the middle too, because that's kind of coming out a little bit there. Here's our little lantern, and you can see the little elements, how they pop out. Especially the bat, that looks really cool with his wings, but the ghosts pop out a little bit too. And then you can just put a little LED light in the bottom and have it light up. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it and you had fun. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.